All right, shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Brother Yosef, want to come back to you with this quick video right here. This time about eating right for your blood type, or eating right for your type. All right, so last week I know we talked about, working on the temple. All right, working on your temple. And before I even go any further, I know we also, since then I've done the numbers video. And there have been people that's been really interested about the series of numbers. So it will be uploaded tomorrow, starting at number 1. So I just want to throw that out there before I even get started with this. But I want to share a couple quick scriptures because I know I talked about exercising last week, and we went in the weight room, the fitness room, and was showing you different little techniques and different ways to work on your temple. We also need to take into consideration that exercising is only 20% of the real thing, and the other 80% is the way you eat, all right, and the way you sleep and take care of your body. So I'm gonna go through a couple scriptures. I don't want to make this too long. I'm gonna go to Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 25. It said, "A cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet." So a man that is cheerful and that's thoughtful and that's walking in wisdom, they will have care of their meat and their diet. We're going to talk about meat here real briefly, but it's something that you need to take into consideration is about your meat and your diet. And a book that I've read that's been able to change the way I've looked at certain things is a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. And it got the A negative, A positive, the O type bloods, the different bloods and things of that nature. Well, I found out mine, and it lined up right to the T. It showed me different things that I can't consume into my body. It showed me those things are giving me harmful effects, and it was spot on. Even with the dairy products, even with the cheeses, all these different things, even with the meats, it shows me that my blood type is not supposed to eat meat like that, but occasional fish. All right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 31 and 19. It said, "A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed." It says, "Sound sleep cometh by moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But the pains of watching and clothing are with the pangs of a belly, and with the unsatiable man." So you see it right here in the scripture. It says, "Very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured." All right, very little of whatever that is. They say too much of anything is bad for you. All right, sound sleep coming by moderate eating. So if you're looking to find a way to be able to take care of your temple, one of the ways that you're going to have to get some rest. All right, and it says sound sleep, it comes by moderate eating. You have to be moderate in you eat. It's something I have to work on because I go to gatherings, I go to places I like to eat. I like to eat a whole lot. All right, and sometimes it's hard to go to sleep when you've been clobbering down all that food. But sound sleep, it comes by moderate eating. All right, right here, it says the pains of the belly are with the unsatiable man. All right, so it goes down here, and in verse number 21, it says, "If you've been forced to eat, vomit." All right, go forth and vomit, and then you will find rest. So sometimes you got too much food inside of you, you need to go and vomit it out or get it out the other type of way, and then you will be more light and more free to be able to go get you some sleep. All right, verse number 22, it said, "My son, hear me, and despise me not. And at last thou shalt find as I told thee, and all thy works be quick, so that no sickness shall come upon thee." So it said, "And all of your works be quick, so that no sickness come upon you." So it's not for us to be slothful and lazy. It's something about us going and doing what we got to do and doing it faster, keeping that metabolism going, moving, and it fights off of that sickness. All right, this is what the wisdom, the Torah wisdom has to say. All right, and all of our works be quick. All right, so, and of course we got to keep that into its proper context as well. But when we're doing things, let's try to make sure that we're not just lazily moving about. All right, build up that metabolism, keep things going so that you can fight off these sicknesses. All right, verse number 23. "Whoso is liberal of his meat, men shall speak well of him, and the report of his housekeeping will be believed." So you see that it said, "Whoso is liberal of his meat." All right, taking good care, making sure that you're not clobbering down on all these meats. We gotta, and I know that for some people they may feel like, well, you're trying to push this vegetarian or vegan type of thing. All right, now for me and my body, I've learned that my body is basically made to be more of a vegan. all right, but it does give room for me some occasional fish. All right, that's what I've upon my own research and my own study of my blood type. And the thing about it is, it lines right up, because when I do eat the dairy products, when I do eat the meats, I start getting all this mucus. I kind of find it harder for me to swallow. You know, different things happen to my body when I clobber down on all these meats, and it lines right up with the Torah of wisdom. All right. So now, Ecclesiasticus 37, I do want to throw this out there as well. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, beef and chicken and things are unclean. All right. I'm not trying to push a vegan doctrine on everybody, but I do want you to take heed to what the scriptures are saying about meats. All right. And you make that decision for yourself. All right, Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 37 and verse 28. It said, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything." So, all things are not profitable to all men. So if you choose that you want to eat meat and you feel it's profitable to you, that's between you and the Most High. But for me, eating meats is not profitable for me. Clobbering down, eating meats every single day. I used to eat chicken 6 days a week, maybe even 7. All right. I ate it so much that one time my kneecap got, you know, about this big. I was walking around, you know, clobbering down on all these meats. And when I chilled out on the meats, you know, my body has been more healthier. My thought processes, I can think a whole lot clearer. You know, when I eat some of these meats, I get a little sluggish, a little lazy. All right, that's just me. I'm not pushing that on everyone and trying to push out a doctrine. I know you got some believers, they try to push the doctrine that if you're not a vegan, then the Most High is not with you, and the Most High ain't dealing with you because you're eating meat. I'm not trying to say that, all right? But it would probably be in your best interest if you didn't consume meat on a continual basis multiple times every single day, if you're trying to take care of your temple, or if you want to listen to the words of wisdom. All right, Ecclesiasticus 37 and verse 28. It talked about all things not being profitable but all men. 29. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. Here we go again. It said, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. We got to make sure that we are not being too greedy upon these meats. One time I went to a gathering just a little while ago, and you know, I know in my temple, I know that, you know, for the last few years, I've been paying attention to the mucus thing. I've been paying attention to certain things about my body. But I went to this gathering and they had all this lamb, right? So man, I don't, with me not eating lamb like that often, I clobbered down that lamb. I went in there, I was eating so much lamb, and it's like I felt so you know, disgusted. The breathing is harder for me. It was harder for me to swallow. It was like that. My throat got all clogged up, all because I was clobbering down on meat. So don't think that these scriptures are lying to you. All right. 29 again. Be not insatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. Verse 30. For excess of meats brings sickness, and surfeiting will bring in a choler. All right, so this excess of meats will bring sickness. I'm telling you, I'm testifying to you about it myself. All right, number 31, by surfeiting, many have perished, but he that take heed prolongs his life. By surfeiting, just overindulging in it. All right, it said many have perished, but he that takes heed, it said he prolongs his life. So I want to help those of you that's taking a look at this to prolong your life. I want you to live longer, all right? And that's going to be by you taking heed to these wisdom principles right here, or these commandments of wisdom. All right, back to 37, Sirach chapter 31, sleek eye. All right, Sirach chapter 31 and verse number 26. It said, the furnace proves the edge by the dipping, so does wine the heart of the proud by drunkenness. Number 27, wine is as good as a life to a man if it be drunk moderately. What is life to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. So now we're going to talk real briefly about this wine real quick, because we talked about exercising, we talked about eating, now we got to talk about drinking a little bit, all right? You know, got to make sure that all these things, when we talk about sound sleep, you know, you got to get your rest as well. All these play a part into our temple functioning at its highest capacity. So now we're talking about this wine. It said it was made to make men glad. All right, verse 28. Wine measurably drunk and in season brings gladness of heart and cheerfulness of mind. So wine drunk immeasurably, It brings cheerfulness of the heart and gladness of the mind if you drink it in its small portions. But a lot of people can't just stop at a small portion, just a little glass. People want to overindulge, all right? That's where you start getting all these diseases, kidney failures, liver issues, all kind of things, because people are just overindulging. They're drinking in it every single day, drinking on it every single day. 29. But when wine drunken with excess make bitterness of mind with brawling and quarreling. So if you drink too much wine, it's going to cause you to be bitter. You go to the book of Proverbs, it said, who has woe, who has contentions, who has wounds without cause, who has redness of eyes, those that tarry long at the wine, all right? All these things were like negative things that are saying about wine. So like you got a positive if you drink it on a measurably on a small portion, all right? But all these negative effects if you're going into it too much. And now they say that even these wineries that are, transported to different places, they are filtered in swine. So it's something that you have to, pay attention to, think about, pray about, do research on as well. All right, 29 again. But wine drunken with excess make bitterness of the mind with brawling and quarreling. All right. Number 30, drunkenness increases the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminishes strength and makes wounds. So these are the things that you have to take heed to when you're talking about building your temple. All right, you have to get the right exercise. All right, you have to eat healthy. They said the eating is 80% of it. 20% is what you do. Some people don't even do too much exercising because they eat healthy and they still look better than people that exercise. All right, as far as their physical features, their skin complexion, the radiant flow that comes from them when they're walking. All right, and some people, they exercise and they get all strong and get all muscular, but they're still eating cheeseburgers. They're still clobbering down on all these unhealthy foods. All right. So I wanted to share this with you today. Get that book, Eat Right for Your Blood Type. It's a real good book for your blood types. It gives you all type of counsel. I know some individuals, they say, well, I don't want to read that book because it's made by other people, it's made by other nations and Gentiles and things of that nature. All right, you want to make sure that you're not a prideful individual. When individuals have knowledge according to the scriptures, it said the heart of him that have understanding seeks knowledge. Proverbs 15 and 14, 14, 15. You need to go take a look at that. All right, research things, because if they didn't have the internet, which we know is more so ran by other nations. So if you say that I don't want to read a book because that book is made by someone from the other nations, then you need to get off the internet too. All right. But if we didn't have the internet, people would have to go to the library, pick up a book. You have to read on your health type, or you have to pray about it. All right. So hopefully I'll share some information with this video right here that can help you along your journey. All right. To eat right for your blood type. All right. And do the proper exercises, get the right amount of rest. They say 7 to 8 hours a day, you should be doing that. A lot of us, we go 6 hours and under, because we keep moving and keep moving. All right, but these are just some things to think about as you're going about your day. All right, Shalom family. One of the things that I do when I'm getting started with my day is I like to drink me a nice warm glass of tea, start my day off. And that tea consists of some hot running water. All right, so what I like to do is I like to grab me a gallon of water, and I have a container right here that I'm able to pour the water into. So when I pour the water into this container, just for a small amount of time, what I do is I pull it on it's like a little mini boiler. All right, and when I was reading that book about eating right for your type, and it talks about drinking some hot water. For my blood type, it talks about drinking some hot water on a continual basis on every morning. And what it does, it fights off all that mucus that we attract overnight. And I found it to work, So it also talks about squeezing the lemon, which I don't really squeeze the lemon. But what I use the hot water in a way to make me some tea. All right, so that tea, depending on what type of tea you may want, you have all kinds of teas, but I normally stick with green tea and turmeric as the ones. So in between the time of the water, boiling, I can use that, 1, 2, 3 minutes to crack open the scriptures, open up the Torah of wisdom, start getting me some wisdom principles, some wisdom laws in me, before I get ready to get started with my day. All right, so I personally don't like to put nothing physically into my body until I put something spiritually into my body. So when I read me a scripture or if I pray to the Most High, that's when I like to intake some physical food or physical drink. All right, that's just me personally. So this is why the water is still boiling. All right, as you can see, it's starting to boil up right now. That's when I grab it. All right, I grab the water, and then I just simply pour it into my, cup right here, and then mix the tea in with it. All right, so that's kind of how I get my day started. Pour the tea in here, sit back here, let that steep for a little minute. Put the little can over it. While it's steeping again, guess what? I got more time to get into my word. I got more time to go pray. I got more time to get my stuff in order. That's just maybe a few minutes between the steeping process, a time where I can just really relax, close my eyes for a minute, think. All right, those are some of the things. So I'm telling you, that book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type is a real good book to buy. I know some of our brothers and sisters may not want to buy it because they say it's made by Gentiles and the other nations. But Proverbs chapter, it's either 15 or 14 or 14 and 15, it says, the heart of him that has understanding seeks knowledge. All right, you're going to seek out knowledge from individuals that have studied on how blood types work. And I didn't know nothing about these blood types until just maybe a couple years ago. And just really, I knew I had a blood type. I knew my children, each had different blood types. But it's interesting to see the things that go into your blood type. And you will never know if you really don't either go on the internet and research it, or if you pick up a book. So what I found out about my blood type is that I'm not real good on eating a lot of dairy food. And I'll pull out some of these dairy items as well. One of the things that I used to like is this sour cream right here. All right, sour cream. So I used to eat a lot of Mexican food with this regular cheese. Of course, this is from my family. One of my daughters is able to still eat these. The other two, they have kind of the same blood type, but it's me. But one of them still, eats whatever. All right, so also too, they have substitutes for that. And I have me some vegan cheese right here. And what happens with the vegan cheese is that it doesn't give me the mucus that the other cheeses give me. And sometimes those mucuses can go on for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes it can linger on to the next day. So it made more sense after I read that book that I had a remedy for dealing with this mucus. All right, a remedy for dealing with this mucus, and it made me have to leave this stuff alone. Occasionally, I may put a little bit on my food to give it a little extra flavor, make it taste a little bit better. But deep down, it's really not all that good for my blood type because it will keep causing that mucus and it will keep causing other body. Then when you're coming into the fall and winter times, it can cause sickness. All right, so this is real important for you to know, especially if you're trying to stay on top of your health, trying to stay right, eat right. You could be eating right, but doing some of the wrong things, and it can, push off all the good that you're trying to do. All right, so that's just my thing personally for my body, is that my body's not prone to a lot of dairy. All right, so my body was made to be more of like a vegan. All right, but one thing I find interesting, my body is made to more so be like a vegan, but in that book it does allow room for just a little bit of fish, and that happens to be the only type of meat that I really like anyway. So of course we've been done away with the swine long time ago, keeping these laws and commandments. All right, but some of the beef items, from time to time, I really only like to eat lamb. I've ate lamb on more of occasional than some of the other ones because I had a little liking for it. But when I walked into one of these, places and I saw it hanging on the big old slab, and it turned me off. I haven't had no lamb, or maybe one more time. I don't know if I had since that. But it was a real disgusting sight. So really, even with the lamb, as much as I like that, that's just something that I'd rather just do on Passover for the feast days. And sometimes, you know, when we invite over individuals' houses, you know, they fix food, you know, maybe without asking us up front. And just not to offend someone, I will eat some meat over their house, but that's not my personal preference. So really the only meat that I eat is normally some salmon or some fish, and that's just, you know, occasionally here and occasionally there. Outside of that, I mainly try to practice a vegan lifestyle. All right, some people try to call me a pescatarian or things of that nature, but I had to find this out. I had to do research on my body and how it works. All right, so if you know your blood type, you probably want to look into that a little bit more extensively, so that you can get the proper understanding. And now that we have this tea ready, all right, all ready to go, this is how we get started with the day. You know what I mean? Get you ready, get pumped up. That's what a little bit of this green tea does. It gets you all excited. All right, and we also have the other one over here. It's called the turmeric. All right, so if you like the turmeric a little bit better, then that's on you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on with this day. Continue to eat right. All right, shalom, shalom. So this right here, it's a little lunch menu right here. Something not too heavy. All right, so deep down in here, I got the lettuce, the spinach. I got some mushrooms in there. I go back and forth about mushrooms because I don't know if they are really a clean food that we should really be eating or not. So, you know, basically just vegetables, some veggies in here. I got the bread on here. I know people would say, well, that's not the most healthiest thing to be eating, but it kind of helps keep a little meat on my bones. You know, sometimes when I try to follow this vegetarian vegan way of life, it seems like I just lose so much weight so fast. So a little bit of bread helps keep a little meat on my bones. Got the apple right here. Of course, they say an apple a day to keep the doctor away. Just a little quick little something for lunch. So, you know, I'm showing y'all the dinner here in a little bit. I know that it is extremely hard to eat right when you're traveling on the road. That's one of the issues that I have. You know, when I'm traveling so much, you know, it's very few restaurants that can fulfill your needs when you're traveling on the road. But I have found a couple places that I can give me a nice healthy meal at, and this is one of them. A place called Tzatziki's. All right, so stepping up in here, of course, got the fruits over here. You know, the fruits will make you feel nice and energized. You know, if you eat a measurable amount, then you come over here to the salads. All right, got me a nice garden salad over here. Treat me right over here. Got the tomatoes, cucumbers. You know, got different little sprinkles of feta cheese right there. You know, got the little shell right there. Put a little extra fullness to it to add, and then hiding back there in the back, I got that piece of salmon. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that around here. Now, me personally, I don't really eat a whole lot of meat. All right, this is like an occasional thing for like Passover, maybe the feast days, and when individuals invite me over to their house, sometimes they don't know the preference of food that myself and my family have. So sometimes individuals may have some meat over there. All right, but I prefer not to eat meat. All right, but every now and then I do like me a piece of salmon. All right, and when you look at that book, Eat Right for Your Type, this is literally the only type of meat that my body responds well to. All right, so my body was not made to clobber down on meat. That's just my own personal, you know, blood type, and I pray that you can do the research on your own. So this is just one of the meals. Of course, there's other places I would try to go. You know, maybe like Moe's or Qdoba's. Really don't like to deal with Chipotle that much, but sometimes you got to go there just to prevent eating some of this stuff that's out here that's worse. All right, so enough talking. I'm about to go ahead and get into this meal right here, and I'll be getting back with you here soon. You have to read on your health type, or you have to pray about it. All right, so hopefully I'll share some information with this video right here that can help you along your journey. All right, to eat right for your blood type. All right, and do the proper exercises. Get the right amount of rest. They say 7 to 8 hours a day. You should be doing that. A lot of us, we go 6 hours and under. Because we keep moving and keep moving. All right, but these are just some things to think about as you're going about your day. All right, so with that said, I pray that the Most High be with each and every single one of you. If this video right here has impacted you in any type of way, all right, share this video. All right, subscribe to the channel and let other people know about these wisdom teachings. Until the next time we meet again, I say, shalom, shalom, Yabarah.